Most Americans are unhappy with Donald Trump's policies. 60% dislike tariff tirade poll. Iranian students begin new university term with protests. Australian frigate sails Taiwan Strait. Russian drones, missiles pound Ukraine. A new national poll shows that most Americans are unhappy with how President Donald Trump is handling the country, particularly on key everyday issues. The ABC News Washington Post Ipsos survey found that about two-thirds of Americans disapprove of Trump's handling of inflation. 6 in 10 disapprove of how he is managing tariffs on imported goods, and 62% are dissatisfied with his handling of foreign relations. 58% oppose his approach to immigration, while 57% say he could be doing better on the overall economy. On none of these major issues does Trump receive clear majority approval. However, the poll also shows that Americans are not strongly backing Democrats either. When asked who they trust more to solve the country's biggest problems, 33% chose Trump, 31% chose Democrats in Congress, and 31% said neither. The results suggest widespread frustration with both political sides. Trump's lowest ratings came from Democrats and independents, who largely disapprove of his performance. Among Republicans, support is divided. Strong supporters of the Make America Great Again movement mostly approve of Trump's leadership, while other Republicans are more critical, especially on inflation and foreign policy. Students staged protests at several Iranian universities as a new academic semester began on Saturday, according to local media and social media footage. The demonstrations coincided with traditional 40-day mourning ceremonies for those killed during last month's anti-government unrest, described as the deadliest domestic turmoil since Iran's 1979 Islamic Revolution. Videos circulating online showed groups of students marching at Sharif University of Technology in Tehran, chanting slogans against Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Some protesters were also seen expressing support for Reza Pahlavi, the exiled son of Iran's former Shah. State-affiliated media reported clashes between protesters and pro-government student groups known as the Basij. Videos showed scuffles, with some Basij members reportedly injured. The Basij often assist security forces in suppressing protests. Demonstrations were also reported at Beheshti University, Amir Kabir University in Tehran, and Mashhad University in northeastern Iran. Independent verification of some videos was not immediately possible. An Australian warship has sailed through the Taiwan Strait, according to a government source. The vessel, HMAS Toowoomba, an Anzac-class frigate of the Royal Australian Navy, conducted what officials described as a routine transit on Friday and Saturday. The move was part of Australia's broader regional presence deployment in the Indo-Pacific. Australia said all interactions with foreign ships and aircraft during the passage were safe and professional. China claims Taiwan as its territory and considers the Taiwan Strait to be its own waters. The strait is a narrow and highly strategic shipping route between China and Taiwan. Chinese state-backed media reported that the People's Liberation Army tracked and monitored the Australian ship throughout its transit. The passage marks the latest movement by a U.S. ally through this sensitive waterway, an area that remains a frequent source of tension between Beijing and Western nations. Russia launched a large-scale missile and drone attack across Ukraine, just 2 days before the 4th anniversary of the invasion. Ukrainian officials say around 50 missiles and 300 drones were fired overnight, targeting energy facilities, railway infrastructure, and residential areas. In Kyiv, explosions were heard around 4 a.m. after air raid sirens sounded. The alert was later extended nationwide due to the threat of additional missile strikes. President Volodymyr Zelensky said the main focus of the attack was Ukraine's energy sector. He added that homes and railway facilities were also damaged. At least one man was killed and dozens were injured in and around the capital, including 4 children, according to national police. Rescue teams were seen searching through debris in the Kyiv region, where a 2-story house was largely destroyed. Temperatures had dropped to nearly -10 degrees Celsius at the time of the strikes. Ukraine's energy ministry said power outages were reported in 6 eastern and southeastern regions. The Russian military said it carried out what it described as a mass strike on Ukrainian military facilities, claiming all targets were hit. Meanwhile, authorities in Russia's Belgorod region reported that one man was killed in a Ukrainian drone strike.